Governments are not usually good administrators. So on these institutes of housing, you must have also the representation of the private sector, of the banking system, and of the users, so that you fully guarantee transparency and accountability. And if you invite private sector constructing companies to build the homes, they will bring in efficiencies and quality as long as they have to compete. So if they have to compete to sell that home to a family, they will do their best to have the lowest price, to have the highest quality, or that home is not going to be sold. So again, this blend of private sector, private investment with public investment and public guidance, it's a magic formula to really advance in building the homes that families need. One more word about housing. This market, which is a captive market in Mexico, either for workers in the private sector or workers or bureaucrats in the public sector, both systems work the same. But still you have a 40% of population that is not within these two systems. So for them, at least in Mexico, we created this Institute for Housing, which only worries how to make available a home to families. In the case of rural areas, not being easy to massify construction, because sometimes in Mexico a house development project is of 10,000 homes in one site, all built at the same time, so that they reduce the cost significantly. But you cannot do that in rural areas. So there, three systems were provided. Number one, self-construction. So government helps to provide the building materials, and the family and the community, with their work, they build the home. Number two, it is just granting the raw materials and putting a warehouse for that in that community, and there in the community of the families building the homes. And finally, the other one is direct loans, long-term, low interest, for them to build their homes. The problem there is the guarantee of the payback, of the return of the money. Sometimes it becomes very complicated. So it's much better the other two systems to work on rural areas. Pure brain. Produce a production factory, a computer. That's their working station. And the distribution doesn't need railroads or trucks or containers or ports. It's just the fiber optic through which all this knowledge goes to everywhere in the world. 168 billion is 15 times what Mexico exports of oil. I'm sure it is, I don't know the figure here, but it should be 15 or 20 times what Nigeria exports of oil. The export of sustainable drain capacity. That drain can start here. This is part of the shortcuts I'm talking about. What if one university here becomes vanguard becomes a state-of-the-art, producing these capacities to the future. The cloud, where all knowledge of all the world, of all the times, centuries, millenniums of humankind, all the wisdom of those who were mentioned by the governor, your Nobel Prize, all of that is in the cloud, at hand's reach. And this is the key, at hand's reach, with a mobile. With a mobile, you can get anything you want to know about. You can learn all the knowledge that you desire to know. How powerful we are in this 21st century. Each one of us here in this room, each one Nigerian, each one citizen of the state of Ogun. So, making that cloud available, making internet available, making access to intelligence mobile. You can find them now for $200. Or tablets like Mexico just bought for his kids, 1 million tablets, $105 US. So how powerful we are in this 21st century, how many things we're going to accomplish, as long as we have that power within, as long as we understand that each one of us is a leader, and we're leaders all the time of our life in any activity that we decide to participate. You don't need to be governor or president of your nation. You can be a leader in your community. You don't need to be a man. Women are great leaders. Even kids today are great leaders at home or in school. And leadership is not only knowledge. It's not what you know. It's not what you learn. It is what you have here. And the more you have compassion, the more you think about others here that are not so privileged, that need of our assistance and support. As long as we think like that, there is no limits to each one of us with the cloud, with our beliefs, with our convictions, and with our commitment. So I really congratulate the Senator and Governor, his wife, and all of you, because you could be doing something else out there. But you're here to get knowledge, to get the inspiration, to learn collectively where we're going in this nation and where is our world going. The new engines are here, growing at 6, 7, 8, 10%. The emerging nations. And Africa has already awakened.
And finally on the program, the U.S. government has revealed that it plans to invest up to $7 billion in Africa's energy industry, among other commitments. The Undersecretary of Commerce, Pt.2, was in Nigeria with a number of U.S. investors recently.
Studies have shown that Africa will need $300 billion in investments to achieve universal electricity by 2030. Already, the United States government has committed $7 billion towards Power Africa and has secured additional commitments totaling $14 billion from 35 private sector partners. Simply put, Power Africa is designed to catalyze new financing and investment in energy solutions that will help Nigeria and the 5 other countries that comprise Power Africa to provide reliable electricity to its citizens. Already, Power Africa has closed on transactions totaling nearly 3,000 megawatts, with an additional 5,000 megawatts in the planning stages. So here in Nigeria, the Power Africa initiative is providing technical assistance as our government privatizes, as your government privatizes its electricity industry, an effort that could add 2,000 megawatts over the next 5 years.
This is where we wrap up the program. In the meantime, you can send us your comments and questions to Business Incorporated at channelstv.com. And of course, you can reach me on Twitter. Thank you for watching. I am Bolaji Akinwale.